Bernie Sanders now has a leadership spot in the Senate. Now, The Hill is reporting that Bernie Sanders has been named chairman of Outreach. Now, this happened during a closed-door Senate Democratic caucus meeting that happened earlier this morning. In that they're like, hey, Bernie Sanders, would you like to do some outreach for us? We really kind of need it. Yeah, sure, absolutely. So Bernie Sanders now has a leadership position. It's not a top leadership position, and I'll get to that, and that's kind of a bummer. So let me get to some of the other people that were also appointed during this closed-door Democratic caucus meeting. Now, Democrat Chuck Schumer was named as the Senate Minority Leader. Oh, here we go. Oh, come on, man. Chuck Schumer? Really? Look, this is great news for Bernie Sanders being the chair of Outreach and being part of the leadership, but you had to have Chuck Schumer there. Look, not a great move in my opinion. However, that really doesn't seem to be all that unexpected, to be honest with you. I mean, all this time, we already knew that they were going to pick Chuck Schumer. It was his turn. It was his time. That's kind of how Washington works. That's kind of why also people are pissed at Washington. But look, I'm not going to be down 100% on Chuck Schumer, right? Even though I do think he's a corporatist tool, he did do the right thing and endorse Keith Ellison to be DNC chair. And actually, I think that we should thank him for that, because whether or not it's seeing like, oh man, writing's on the wall, we better elect or nominate a progressive to the DNC chair. Now, I could go full corporatist and go with Howard Dean, or go with some other person. There's another person that threw in their hat. They're really not all that important, because you've got Keith Ellison versus Howard Dean. Well, Howard Dean is the establishment pick, and they're saying, hey, Howard, go run for DNC chair so that all the donors can know that we are 100% safe. And Schumer's like, hey, man, like, I'm a corporatist. I love that Wall Street money, but I also kind of want to win every once in a while. I'm just saying. So, look, they're saying, Ellison, awesome. Great pick. I think it's a good pick. Another good pick would, of course, be Tulsi Gabbard. Now, she has some weird views on Islam. She's not a perfect candidate, but no candidate is a perfect candidate. And it's something we have to remember when we're thinking about the DNC chair. All I know is that Tulsi Gabbard, Keith Ellison are a hell of a lot better than Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Donna Brazile. So, anyway. Now, what is Bernie Sanders going to do as outreach chair? Well, in the role, The Hill explains that Sanders will be in charge of reaching out to blue-collar voters who ended up flocking over to Donald Trump this election. Now, Sanders told reporters that he has a heavy responsibility to help shape the priorities of the United States government. Quote, I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure that the budget that leaves the United States Congress is a budget that represents the needs of working families and a shrinking middle class, and not billionaires. Debbie Stabenow, senator from Michigan, said Sanders was brought into the leadership to better represent the different factions of the Democratic caucus in decision-making. She told The Hill, we want to expand on that, and he will be reaching out to all of our allies. We have a tremendous amount of talent in our caucus, and we want to make sure everyone is contributing. So, look, Bernie Sanders, I think this is a pretty good spot for him, even though that it's not top leadership. I would have rather seen him as the Senate Minority Leader. Instead of Chuck Schumer, Bernie Sanders. That would have been great. But this role, it does kind of make sense. Bernie Sanders was able to reach out to his constituency that the DNC was unable to. So, when you think of logically, it kind of makes sense. But so you've got Chuck Schumer here. Speaking of reaching out to their allies. Well, you've got Chuck Schumer, who's going to reach out to Wall Street, to giant corporations, and mainstream Democrats. And then you've got Bernie Sanders that's going to go out there and reach out to blue-collar workers as well as progressives. So that makes Like I said, all this makes political sense to me. Whether or not it's going to be effective, I don't know. Now, Sanders will also keep his post as the senior minority member of the Budget Committee. Now, all in all, Bernie is one of the 3 new members to the Senate Democratic leadership team. Now, Schumer, no, you're not going to like this. But Chuck Schumer has tapped Senators Joe Manchin and Tammy Baldwin as other members of the leadership team. Manchin. Joe Manchin. Are you fucking kidding me? You're gonna put in Joe Manchin, Blue Dog Democrat that nobody likes. Yeah, we're gonna put you in a leadership position too, probably to counteract Bernie Sanders. And look, I think this is also a message to the corporation saying, "Don't worry, guys, you're still in charge. Yeah, we're putting Bernie Sanders as a leadership position, but don't worry. Here's Joe Manchin. Enjoy. We're still on your side." So, it's like they've learned a little, but not enough. Especially since the fact that they seem to be unwilling to cut their corporate ties, the Democratic Party. So, as I said, I'm a little mixed. I'm mixed on this, right? That overall, I think this is a great position for Bernie Sanders. And look, he's still outnumbered by corporate Democrats, but at least they recognize his value and the value of a progressive. Now, they also put Elizabeth Warren in one of these spots as well. Now, I'm still hopeful because of this, but I'm still pretty skeptical as well. But I'm trying to remain hopeful here that the Democrats are going to change. But, as I said, I don't know if they're going to change in time or in the ways that they most desperately need to change. And that's getting rid of the influence of Wall Street and corporate America on the party. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. Maybe they're doing the incremental thing. I don't know. I hope so. Because they've got to do something if they want to start not only just winning, because it's not about winning. It's about putting forward progressive policies that help the people. And at some point, our politicians forgot that, oh yeah, we're actually supposed to represent the people. They've forgotten that, and that's where we are today. So I hope that this is a beginning of a slow change to something more progressive. We'll see. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent, non-corporate media, go to our Patreon page and become a patron. Patreon.com/TYTNation.